Henri Charrière, known as Papillon, is a professional safecracker in Paris. His usual day consists of breaking into mansions, stealing expensive jewelry, and delivering it to his boss. In return, he receives generous pay. One day, after a successful robbery, he meets with his boss and hands over the diamonds he has just stolen. The boss asks whether he kept any for himself, but Papillon denies it. The boss then has a brutally beaten man brought in and explains that anyone who lies to him will suffer the same fate. Papillon is clearly intimidated by the scene, but he remains calm and leaves with his money. Shortly afterward, he meets his girlfriend, Nanette, and gives her some jewelry that he had hidden from his boss. As they walk away, a man watches them, paying special attention to the necklace Nanette is holding in her hand. That night, the couple makes love and talks about their future. Nanette wants to settle down in the countryside, far away from the world of crime, but Papillon believes they would not earn enough money there to survive. The next morning, while they continue their argument, there is a sudden knock at the door. As soon as Papillon opens it, several police officers arrest him. He has been framed for the murder of the same man whom his boss had beaten the night before. Papillon tries to explain that he spent the entire night with his girlfriend, but the officers ignore his pleas and take him away. Later, at the police station, Nanette visits Papillon and says that she wants to testify. However, he stops her, telling her that it will not help. Papillon knows that no matter what he does, the police will not release him. Therefore, instead of resisting, he begins to plan an escape from prison. Before Nanette leaves, Papillon tells her to go on with her life, but she refuses. After Nanette leaves, Papillon befriends another prisoner named Julot, who reveals that escaping from a prison requires a lot of money. Then he points to an apparently harmless man named Louis Degas and says he is the solution. Apparently, Degas is a millionaire who was arrested for counterfeiting money. Even now, he has a large amount of cash hidden inside the one place where the sun never reaches. Meanwhile, all the prisoners are transported by ship to the French Guiana penal colony. During the night, Papillon approaches Degas and offers him protection in exchange for money, but Degas refuses. Later, when all the prisoners are resting, Degas witnesses the man sleeping next to him being brutally murdered. It turns out that the man had hidden money inside his stomach, which is why he became a target. Degas is terrified by the incident, and the following morning approaches Papillon and accepts his offer. The deal is that Degas will receive protection until they reach the penal colony. He does not want to escape with Papillon, as he believes his wife will soon manage to get him released. Later, while everyone is resting, the same murderer from the previous night tries to attack Degas. He slowly approaches him to strike, but this time Papillon intervenes and saves him. The two men engage in a fight that alerts the guards. Papillon is punished, but he doesn't seem to care. He is simply happy that Degas is still alive. The next morning, the ship finally arrives at the penal colony. Before everyone proceeds, Julot deliberately injures himself so that he will be taken to the infirmary. His plan is to escape from there, as it is the place with the least surveillance. After some time, Papillon and the others finally arrive at the colony where they will be imprisoned. The place is filled with dangerous criminals, many of them convicted murderers. The warden is also a cruel man. He gathers all the new prisoners and reveals that escaping from this place is impossible. If anyone is caught attempting to escape, they will be sent to solitary confinement for 2 years. If they try a second time, it will be 3 years, and if they attempt it a third time, they will be sent to the dreaded Devil's Island, a place where people lose their sanity. The warden also explains that anyone who commits murder will be publicly beheaded with a guillotine. In the next scene, all the prisoners are assigned to collect stones. While Papillon performs the work efficiently, Degas struggles greatly as he is not accustomed to physical labor. Later, Papillon meets with a boatman and offers him a large sum of money in exchange for a boat. The man agrees and tells Papillon to come to the shore the following night. At that very moment, a dangerous-looking prisoner discovers the plan and approaches Degas to steal his money. Once again, Papillon arrives in time to save him. He confronts the man and defeats him, although he is injured in the process. Seeing this, Degas realizes that he will not survive even a single day without Papillon. By the time his wife finds a way to get him out, he would already be dead. With no other options, Degas decides to join Papillon's escape plan. The next morning, all the prisoners are summoned to the courtyard to witness an execution. It is revealed that during an escape attempt, Julot killed 2 guards, and as a result, he will now be punished with the guillotine. As the prisoners watch in horror, Julot is placed in the device and decapitated. The warden then orders Papillon and Degas to carry the body to the burial site. Unfortunately, along the way, Degas collapses. He has never seen a corpse in his life, and now he is forced to carry a headless man. Papillon tries to encourage him to get up, but it is useless. At that moment, the guards arrive and threaten Degas to lift the body. When he refuses, one of them begins whipping him across the back. Papillon can no longer bear it, and, in a burst of rage, grabs a stone and smashes the guard's head. He then runs away, but poor Degas is paralyzed with fear and cannot move.
That night, Papillon reaches the shore and meets the boatman. He asks for the boat, but to his surprise, the man begins to laugh. When Papillon turns around, he sees several guards. It turns out that the boatman had already informed the warden about the escape attempt. He was receiving a large sum of money every time he betrayed a prisoner who tried to escape. Shortly afterward, Papillon is taken back to the prison, and the warden gives him good news. The guard he struck is still alive, which means Papillon will not be sentenced to death. Instead, he'll be sent to solitary confinement on another island. When he arrives there, he finds a desolate and gloomy place. There is only one rule: make no noise. In the previous prison, inmates were able to move around and talk to their friends, but in this one, they are confined to a small cell. Even talking to oneself is a punishable offense. In addition, the food is scarce and of low quality. Papillon is given only a single ration, a strange-looking soup. One day, surprisingly, he receives a coconut. Inside is a note stating that from now on, he will receive coconuts every day. Realizing that it comes from Degas, Papillon eats happily. This continues for several weeks, but eventually the warden discovers it and orders the guard who served the food to be killed. He then confronts Papillon and asks who was responsible. As expected, Papillon reveals nothing. As punishment, the warden cuts in half his already insufficient food ration. A month passes and Papillon becomes severely weakened due to the lack of nutrients. The warden visits him again, holding a delicious meal, and once more asks who was sending him the coconuts. Like before, Papillon remains silent. Enraged, the warden decides to leave him in complete darkness for the rest of his sentence. Now, Papillon is trapped in a terrifying situation. He receives no proper food, has no one to talk to, and cannot even see his surroundings. Little by little, the forced silence and starvation begin to drive him insane. Papillon becomes so weak that he can no longer move, and as a result, he is transferred to the prison hospital. Coincidentally, Degas has begun working in that very place. Over the past year and a half, he has earned the warden's trust and therefore receives additional protection and certain privileges. One day, Degas encounters his friend and discovers that he is only pretending to be insane. Papillon knew this was the only way to return to the main prison, so he began acting like a madman. The duo then resumes discussing their escape plan. This time, they chose 2 more prisoners as allies. Papillon wants someone strong and clever, while Degas wants to help someone who is constantly exploited. In the end, they recruit a brute named Cellier and a man who is always bullied, Maturet. After that, Degas gives all his savings to Cellier, who uses his contacts to buy a boat. The following night, a movie will be shown, and that will be the moment when the 4 of them plan to escape. Degas is nervous about the entire plan, and at one point even considers backing out. However, his best friend, Papillon, makes him understand that this is his only chance at freedom. It is now or never. In the following scene, movie night is shown. Several officials have arrived, and Degas is seen serving them drinks. According to the plan, he adds narcotics to the beverages and waits for the perfect moment to steal the keys to the main gate. Meanwhile, Papillon and the others wait inside, when suddenly it begins to rain. This causes a power outage. Frightened, Cellier suggests that they flee and look for an alternative route, but Papillon refuses. He will not leave without his friend. Fortunately, Degas arrives just in time with the keys. Taking advantage of the darkness, the group opens the main gate and quickly escapes from the prison. After a while, they reach a dead end. The only way to reach the shore is by jumping. Papillon, Cellier, and Maturet manage to land safely, but when it is Degas' turn, the lights suddenly come on. This startles him, causing him to land incorrectly and break his leg. Unable to walk, Cellier proposes abandoning him, but Papillon once again refuses. Together with Maturette, he carries the injured Degas, and they finally reach the shore where a boat is waiting for them. Without wasting time, the four board the boat and head into the darkness of the ocean. The next morning, several hours have already passed since the escape, but Cellier notices that they have not made much progress. This is because the boat is very small and cannot support the weight of 4 people. At that moment, they see a storm approaching. Realizing that they have very little time, Cellier throws Maturette into the ocean and then attempts to do the same to Degas. However, Papillon steps in, leading to a brutal fight. Cellier, being larger and stronger, gains the upper hand and is about to kill Papillon, when suddenly Degas stabs him in the back. Together, they throw Cellier overboard and help Maturette climb back onto the boat. Soon afterward, the massive storm engulfs them, and the screen fades to black. When they wake up, they find themselves on an island. It turns out that a nearby community saw them floating in the ocean and rescued them. As Papillon wanders around the place in confusion, a nun greets him and reveals that they are in Colombia. She also mentions that she knows what they did and where they came from. Papillon tries to explain himself, but the nun tells him that he is safe as long as he repents for his sins. That night, Papillon meets with his best friend and tells him that they should leave the place immediately. However, Degas refuses, stating that his deal is already over. He is tired of running and now wants to stay in one place forever. Papillon leaves him alone and goes to see Maturette, but he too has grown accustomed to the place, especially because of the women. As a result, Papillon decides to leave on his own. However, as he approaches the boat, he notices several officers arriving. It turns out that the wicked nun had revealed their location to the authorities. Alarmed, Papillon quickly returns to Degas and helps him to his feet, but by then the officers have already seen them. Maturette is shot and killed on the spot, while Papillon and Degas are captured and taken back to prison. 5 years later, Papillon has completed his sentence in solitary confinement and is now transferred to Devil's Island. To his surprise, he is reunited with Degas there. It is revealed that Degas received a harsher punishment for drugging the officials' drinks. He was sent to Devil's Island immediately after returning from Colombia. Both men are overjoyed to see each other again after 5 long years. Although they have aged, the friendship and bond between them remain intact. That night, as Papillon looks out at the ocean, a sudden idea crosses his mind. He approaches Degas and tells him that if they can build a small raft, the waves will carry him to the nearest coast. This time, however, Degas refuses to participate. He explains that for 5 years he has lived a peaceful life, free of trouble and violence. In addition, he has learned that his wife married another man, so there is no point in returning. Nevertheless, he decides to help Papillon build the raft using coconuts. The following morning, the 2 friends embrace and say goodbye. Papillon then launches the raft into the ocean and jumps in after it. The plan works, and the waves appear to carry him somewhere. As he drifts away, Degas watches with tears in his eyes. In the final scene, we move to the year 1967. Papillon is living in Venezuela, as he is still a wanted criminal in France. However, in 1969, he is pardoned for all his crimes. Papillon has written a memoir recounting all these events, which he plans to publish. The film ends as he travels to Paris for the first time in 38 long years. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe for more movie breakdowns and recaps.